What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the physique update of the reigning 212 Mr. Olympia champion, Keone Pearson. So Keone continues to put on more size, more thickness, while staying very lean during the off-season. And that has got to be really worrisome for all the other competitors. Everyone who is chasing Keone Pearson. And Keone's story is the definition of what happens when you combine great genetics with the hard work. That combination is not only deadly, that combination is next to impossible to beat. And that is exactly what we saw from Keone in 2023. He won Texas Pro very convincingly. And as per the scorecards at the Olympia last year, he was straight first place at both the prejudging and at the finals as well. And that too against a dominant champion like Sean Carrera. So Keone right now is close to 230 pounds. And he is able to hit a very deep vacuum. So I have to say, gone are the days when bodybuilders got all fluffy and huge and big during the off-season. In this current day and age, they stay very lean and very much in the striking range. So Keone is working with Patrick. And Patrick is a very big advocate of staying extremely lean during the off-season. And all his guys are extremely conditioned when they step on stage. I mean, recently we have had the example of John De La Rosa. So I think Patrick and Keone have figured out that sweet spot, where Keone's body responds at its absolute finest. And a lot of focus of Keone during this year's off-season has been around his back. Because the biggest threat to Keone still is Sean Carrera. And Sean, we all know, has a phenomenal back. Now, we know he isn't going to close that gap to Sean, especially in terms of muscularity. That he can actually beat Sean in the back double bicep. But he can definitely close that gap to some extent. And if Keone is able to acquire that density, that maturity, if he can close that gap to a certain extent, there is just no way he's gonna lose to Sean again. He's gonna win most of the front shots anyway, because he is so much more aesthetic and structurally he is a bigger bodybuilder than Sean. So, if Keone successfully defends the title in 2024, I believe he is gonna win the division for a long time. I mean, who is the guy who can actually challenge Keone here? Tell me who other than Sean Carrera seems like a threat to Keone. I know there is just one more guy, and that is Carrot Bajo. And Carrot at this point is still a distant third. William Bonac is up next, releasing a physique update almost at the end phase of his off-season. So this off-season wasn't to put on more muscle. This was more about body recomposition because Bonac hasn't competed in more than 1 year. This was about rebuilding his metabolism for the men's open bodybuilding. So the Arnold 2023 was his last show, and placing-wise, the worst showing out of all the Arnold classics that he did in his entire professional career. So with the prize money of every IV Pro show going up, William Bonac might seriously reconsider his retirement decision. And here is the reason why. First of all, he hasn't made it official, but he did hint he's gonna end his career by competing one final time at Mr. Olympia stage. So William's current physique is no longer gonna be a top 6 Olympia level physique. But he can still win multiple shows throughout the calendar year. And with the prize money increasing every year, that can be really beneficial for a guy like William. So, I don't think he's working with Chad Nichols anymore. So a new coach and hopefully a new and better look will be presented on the stage in 2024. So William Bonac has every intention of qualifying for the Olympia 2024, which I'm sure he will. And that is why some of the guys who placed top 10 at the Olympia last year, they will have a hard time duplicating those same results. And in that very likely scenario that Big Ramy also comes back, there will be 4 guys, Nick Walker, Rafael Brandao, William Bonac and Big Ramy, who are absolutely going to be taking those spots in that top 10. So William Bonac was not at his best in either of his last 2 shows. So if he can bring back his trademark roundness, he can still be very dangerous in that second call out of Mr. Olympia. Rubiel Mosquera aka Naxila's collab with Michal Krizo, 2 of the freakiest bodybuilders in the current era. That is one exciting thing for all the bodybuilding fans, and that just happened. So Rubiel Mosquera is gonna compete sooner than Krizo, hopefully at the New York Pro in less than 10 weeks time now. So he is getting back to his groove, eliminating all the distractions because he knows when he gets to stand next to the mutant Nick Walker, it is gonna be a reality check for him because Nick Walker is just in a league of his own. Now, Nick Walker is a big fan of Rubiel. He spoke so highly of him after Prague Pro, which was his pro debut. Where by the way, we saw both these guys, Rubiel Mosquera and Michal Krizo, going up against each other, and those comparisons. And a majority of bodybuilding experts believed, and that included Nick Walker as well. Rubiel Mosquera should have placed ahead of Krizo at that show. Now, me personally, I do not exactly agree with that. But still, that was the opinion of a lot of bodybuilding experts. So although we know Nick Walker is gonna beat Rubiel, but still this is a comparison that we all wanna see on the stage. Both of them have a thing in common, and that is bringing a lot of freak factor. And that is always loved by the fans at the New York Pro, because the crowd at the New York Pro is one of the most vocal crowd in bodybuilding. So Rubiel Mosquera became an overnight sensation based on his pro debut, where he was able to beat a guy with the most IB Pro wins who is currently active, and that is Nathan Diasha. But Nathan Diasha also got beat by Horsemdi at Romania, and Horsemdi also had great hype behind him leading into this year's Arnold, and he certainly did not live up to the hype. So hopefully that isn't the case with Rubiel, and he delivers in 2024. And I'm sure a guy like Rubiel Mosquera can definitely crack top 10 at his Olympia debut, which is going to be a great accomplishment, considering how deep of a lineup this is becoming. So do let me know what you guys think. Will Rubiel Mosquera live up to the hype? Andrew Jack isn't playing around, guys. He isn't competing anytime soon. At least that is what we know till now. But right now I have to say he looks huge, and he seems to be in a great off-season condition as well. So the most crucial factor that is going to play a huge role on how Andrew Jack does in 2024, whether or not he is going to be a Mr. Olympia title contender, is that this is a very first time since turning pro. And that was at the Arnold Classic Amateur 2022, that he is taking a long off-season, that he is taking a break from continuous competing and dieting, and he is focusing on bringing up the weak areas. So it is gonna come down to how much improvements can he make, especially in his weak shorts, in this one off season. So the things that he needs to work on the most, first of all, he needs more hamstrings, and he needs more back thickness. And if he's able to accomplish that to a certain extent, I'm not sure if there is anybody out there who can actually beat him at his best. He is gonna be Mr. Olympia for sure. So Andrew's structure is definitely better than Samson Dauda. But still, Samson has been beating Andrew Jack consistently. And the reason is Samson is so thick and he has a lot more muscles that are evenly distributed throughout his frame. While same isn't the case with Andrew Jack. Now Andrew had Mr. Olympia worthy from double biceps, from large spread, the abs and thigh. The problem is that he doesn't have enough thickness in these side shorts, and that is where he loses the ground. So can Andrew improve his peak body parts in just a few months? Well, he did make some very drastic improvements from the Arnold Amateur 2022 to Texas Pro 2022. And then he continued to improve from one show to the next, while staying lean. So I think this offseason can be huge. People bring up his age, and yes, that is also a big variable on how long Andrew is going to continue to compete at the highest level. So I think Dubai Pro is going to be one hell of a show, because I do believe that Andrew is going to compete there, and we will probably see Brandon Carey there as well. And considering the prize money of $100,000, I am sure that is going to tempt a lot of big names, people who have already qualified. Maybe even Nick Walker is going to compete there as well. So let's see who else shows up there. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you want to come back for more. Thanks for watching.